John from BrotherJohnF.com is here with us on the show today. Thanks for being here, John.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Can you tell us a little about how you learned about the great opportunity in silver and how you started BrotherJohnF.com?
Sure. I started BrotherJohnF.com recently, but the first thing I started was my YouTube channel, and it was about a year and a half ago, and I had been following a lot of the leading lights in the silver community, specifically Ted Butler, Bix Weir, of course, the guys at GATA, but GATA wasn't really silver centric as much as it was gold centric. So, but Jason Hommel and a few others, and I just kind of felt like I wanted to add my voice to the issue and maybe help educate people, because it seemed to be a story that really wasn't getting out. There's a lot of people in the precious metals community that get the general message of precious metals out, but the specific story for silver wasn't really getting out that well, and I just felt that it's a really great opportunity, so I wanted to promote that. So about a year later, I started my blog and forum, and I'm just trying to expand with this silver idea.
Can you tell us a little about the silver fundamentals?
Sure. The silver fundamentals are really unique for a large number of reasons. There's just so many that one could go into, but I think the key ones, the biggest one, of course, is going to be the fundamentals of actually the demand side, which is just going to be money. And if you just look at the round numbers of silver, it's real simple to do the math. There's only about 750 million ounces of silver that's pulled out of the ground every year. Let's say you have a bunch of scrap and recycling, just for rough estimates, say you get 1 billion. And we don't really know how much is available to be delivered above ground. Guesses go as high as 10 billion, some less than 1 billion. But even regardless of what that answer is, 1 billion ounces of silver is only $30 billion. And $30 billion is a pittance as far as the amount of money that people invest. People invest trillions of dollars every year. And the amount of money that it would take if silver were perhaps remonetized, or if it was just became a store of value in people's minds, where they actually became convinced that it was something that would store value for them, that the price potential is explosive. And it really, everything is there, the fundamentals are there, and I can go into the supply fundamentals as well, but the demand fundamentals are absolutely overwhelming.
A lot of your work is on silver technical analysis. Can you explain to the viewers what this is?
Sure. The technicals are really something that are just kind of informative as far as buy points, and of course I'm strictly encouraging people who value my advice, or myself even, to buy physical silver only. But the technicals are always used in conjunction with fundamentals. Fundamentals tell you what to buy, and technicals tell you when to buy it. So the technicals are really not going to do you any good if you are not convinced of the fundamental case. You already have to be convinced that you have a bull market and that the fundamentals point to much higher prices. And then you'll be able to use the technicals to be able to pick out short-term spikes, breakdowns, and of course, if you're buying in a bull market, you're looking at buying the dips. So the technicals are going to give you places to buy.
Where do you see the silver price going ultimately?
Ultimately, I think silver is going to go probably to 4 digits in the dollar, but I don't know. They've been playing this game for so long that there's no way of knowing what they have planned. If you look at the breakdown of the London gold pool, what was happening at that time was pretty much denied by all parties involved, and it ultimately led to very, very large changes and then very large moves, 20-fold or so, in the prices of both gold and silver. I think the situation is much worse this time. primarily because the silver stockpiles that were around that had accumulated in the United States after the war have pretty much all been used up now, and there just isn't that silver overhead floating around for the government to sell into the market. So if we do get that type of 70s reaction where we have a change in the monetary system and then we get a rush into the metals, silver's price could just go parabolic.
Who are you referring to when you say they've been playing this game?
Well, it's hard to say who is specifically behind it. I think probably the best guesstimate would be the U.S. Fed or the U.S. Treasury, probably at the behest of the government itself. Whoever has the largest interest in suppressing it is going to be the person who probably is behind it, and that would be the government's interest in maintaining the perceived value of the dollar. Of course, the dollar has been steadily decaying ever since the Federal Reserve came into existence, but similar to a bank run, a very small amount of Americans or even people in the world, it would take only a very small number of people to rush into physical silver, which would cause a stampede and a price reaction that could not be contained. So I think they have a very strong incentive to do what they can to make people believe that this isn't a true fundamental value, whether that has to be violent price shakedowns, which take out people that have gotten in the short term. You know, silver is called the devil's metal, and the reason why is because of its volatility. But as Jason Hommel has pointed out, there really is nothing fundamental about silver, about the silver suppliers, or about the people who buy it, that it should be that volatile. I believe that it's that volatile because they want it to be that volatile.
Between silver, gold, and precious metal mining stocks, which do you think will give the best return?
Well, obviously, I think that silver is going to be the best investment. Gold is always a good investment if governments are in the business of printing money. Gold tends to be not a very good investment when governments are restrained and when they're actually living within their means and they're balancing their budgets. Now, in a situation like that, where governments are being responsible, normally you see markets take off and you see tremendous growth, such as what we're seeing in Asia right now. Now, under that scenario, if we see a tremendous growth scenario, especially with the current electronic age we're in, we very well could see a very strong bull market in silver based on those fundamentals alone. So I'm not just bullish on silver for negative or pessimistic reasons. I'm also bullish on silver for very economic optimistic reasons. And I think ultimately China and India will probably drive the market regardless with their growth. Now, to mining stocks, I've talked a lot about that. I just did a recent article on PAAS, and I definitely feel that one should be very careful about investing in mining stocks as long as one believes that the price of the underlying metal being mined is suppressed. Simply because if that's being suppressed, then the underlying input costs of the rest of the mining operation will exceed those and it just won't be profitable. You can see that with the PAAS chart. SLV is up about 130% since mid-2007, while PAAS is down about 25 to 30% over the same period of time. So it's just not profitable to mine something that's being suppressed in price.
What kind of physical silver do you like buying?
I usually recommend coins, and a lot of people have bars that are their favorites. I've found that coins have a lot of unique qualities about them that make them the best in my opinion. It's what I prefer. My favorite, of course, are the Perth Mint issues and some of the Royal Canadian Mint issues. Don't get me wrong, I've bought a lot of Eagles over the years, but Eagles are the same every year, while the Perth and Royal Canadian ones have a potential bonus of collector's value or a semi-numismatic play. You're not paying very much more. In fact, often you're paying the exact same premium that you're paying for Eagles over spot. So that's roughly $2 to $3. The other benefit of the coin is the counterfeitability issue. The higher quality of the coin, the less likely it's to be counterfeit. The smaller, the less likely to be counterfeit. Silver's so low priced. If you think about a counterfeiting operation of a half-ounce coin of silver, it only costs you $15 to get the silver. Now, how much work are you going to put into it to counterfeit it? So it's just not profitable, and that's why I recommend coins. Now, if you want to go for the straight low spot play, then you probably want to go with junk silver, pre-1964 US dimes, quarters, half dollars, and dollars. And you can usually pick that up, bags of those, for very close to spot.
Well, John from brotherjohnf.com, it was great to have you on the show. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's it. If anyone wants to come to the site, it's brotherjohnf.com, and it's Silver for the People. And on YouTube, it's Brother John F.
Once again, it was great to have you on the show, and I hope we can do this again soon.
Thanks, Elijah. I really enjoyed it.